certainly didn't think that walking on my own, carrying a sign was breaking any laws. I was just hoping I'd get a few toots to know that I wasn't alone in the way that I'm thinking. So I did get a few toots and I was pretty happy with that.
You're currently protesting the Premier.
Well, he's coming for a walk with me. He didn't want to walk.
I can see you protesting the Premier like that's the crime. That's what he...
That's right, that's correct.
And going for your ID, that is crazy to me because that shows it's got nothing to do with the virus.
Yeah.
It's got 100% to do with protecting the Premier.
That's exactly right.
In which democracy can you not criticise the supposed, democratically elected official?
Yep.
Today we have another outrageous fine that I need your help to crowdfund at fightthefines.com.au. This time, the state's victim is a Melbourne woman fined $1,652 for merely holding a sign while legally exercising alone. In the southeastern suburb of Cranbourne, 2 k's from her home, Kerry Cotterill was intercepted, threatened with arrest and fined by police at this intersection.
I was going out for my walk and I thought, I might make a sign and take it with me. So I made myself a sign and took it with me on my 1 hour walk. I was 2 kilometres from home. Then the police arrived.
My name's First Constable Ballard. I'm from Cranbourne Police Station. This is Constable Peter Glenn, also from Cranbourne Police Station.
How you going?
I'm trying to see what you're up to today.
I'm doing my 1 hour of exercise.
No worries. I can also see that you're currently protesting the Premier.
Well, he's coming for a walk with me. He didn't want to walk by myself, so thought it'd be nice for him to come for a walk.
Why did you feel the need to paint a sign yourself and use your hour of exercise to hold that sign? Why was it so important to you?
It's been a really tough year for me. I've lost both my parents this year. So my mum died right at the end of January and I haven't been able to have support or give support to my 7 siblings. Also, my dad died in June. He was in hospital. First of all, he was in a nursing home and then he went into palliative care. There were so many restrictions about us being able to visit. And on the last day of his life, virtually, we were restricted to 3 people. He has 8 children and a partner and 2 stepchildren. So we weren't able to all be there as a group to support my dad in his final hours. And I've also had a son that was in hospital for almost the entire 6 months. And he wasn't able to have visits for the majority of that period of time, and he has mental health issues and they actually got worse over that period of time. So I felt that it was really important to get out there and get my message out there and to do it legally, and I felt like I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Thanks for joining us again, Madeline, and thank you for taking on now Kerry's case. I guess I'm just going to ask, it sounds a little vain, I want you to make me feel better. Am I crazy to think that this case, am I crazy to be scared of this case, of the implications of what this case means?
Kerry's case is extraordinary, and it's a case that has implications for all Australians, regardless of where they fall on the political spectrum. She's exercising, she's within her 5 kilometre radius, she's wearing a mask. But because she was carrying a sign, she was issued with a fine for conducting a protest. It's extraordinary.
And what implications does it have, broader implications for Australians? Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, so the Australian Constitution doesn't contain a Bill of Rights like they have in the United States, for example, but it does protect some rights. One of those is the right to freedom of communication. Essentially, the right to freedom of political communication is read into the Constitution because it is necessary for the workings of our democracy. Now, the freedom's not absolute. It is subject to limitations, but that's why this is such an important case.
So there is absolutely a lot at stake here. It's not just me, is it?
Well, like I said, Avi, it's a case that has implications for all Australians, your kids, your grandkids, and that's the case regardless of where they fall on the political spectrum.
Thanks again for taking it on. We need you to fight this, and we'll keep up to date. We'll do this every time as this case progresses, and we'll get you to update everybody on what's going on with essentially, I guess, our future, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of work to do.
Thank you, Madeline.
Thanks.
I just feel like they don't want anybody to be able to speak up against Daniel Andrews. So is it against the law for me to carry this with me, is it?
You're clearly conducting a protest against Dan Andrews and the current restrictions. I can understand that you might be frustrated, but unfortunately...
Well, I'm not breaking any laws, am I?
Not one of the law prescribed activities.
Well, I'm actually exercising, so... I was I was waiting for the lights. I was waiting for the lights, and then I was walking across the road. There isn't a law against that, is there?
There are call approximately 5 to 10 minutes ago saying that you're standing on the side of the road protesting, and when we've come and found you, you're still in the same spot.
No, I wasn't actually. I've been walking around this area, so I wasn't in the same spot.
Protesting, not out for the purposes of solely exercising,
What?
out here for the purposes of protesting.
What, because I'm carrying a sign?
And you're clearly trying to make a political statement and protest against it.
So is there a law against carrying a sign when I'm walking? I am walking, but I'm walking. When I asked them what laws I was breaking, they weren't able to cite any. They just said I'd gone against the Chief Health Officer's advice.
Which was what? That you can exercise.
That I can exercise, that's right.
So have you seen anywhere where the Chief Health Officer said you cannot hold a sign while exercising, you cannot wear a mask?
No, I haven't seen that anywhere.
You don't have to say or do anything. Anything you say or do is being recorded and can be used as evidence. Do you understand that?
That's fine.
I believe the reason you're community messages.
That's fine.
Directions the Chief Health Officer during stage 4 lockdowns. Do you understand what the 4 things...
Well, you're not 1.5 metres from me, so you're actually breaking it.
Due to the heavy traffic, I'm a bit closer right now whilst we're wearing our masks so that we can effectively communicate.
Okay, but you're still not 1.5 metres, which is...
1.5 metres we probably wouldn't be able to communicate very well, and I'd like you to be able to hear me, and I'd like to be able to hear what you say as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going for a walk, so...
You're clearly currently conducting a protest as opposed to boot with a picture of Daniel Andrews, and you've asked saying Dan wearing the shamia.
That's okay. I'm allowed to wear this, aren't I?
They keep telling us that protests are legal and you should do it in a legal fashion now, so online at home, or in your case, alone while doing your daily exercise. But that doesn't seem to be the way, is it?
No, it definitely doesn't.
It's quite simple. I'm going to ask you to move on and cease to protest, just return home or continue exercising. You're prescribed right now. That's perfectly fine. But as a result of your activities today, you will be issued a penalty notice for breaching the COVID directions.
Can you afford to throw $1,652 at a fine?
No, definitely not.
Do you deserve a fine like that?
No, definitely not. I didn't break any laws.
Well, I do believe you've been through a fair bit of your hour, so probably best to start heading home.
Yeah, no, I will.
All right, you'll be issued.
All right.
You'll receive it as a mail.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, Communist Victoria. To have you guys on board is amazing.
100%, and that's what it's about, because at the end of the day, to fight this fine is going to cost a lot more than the ridiculous expensive fine itself. But
Right.
This is about the principle. This is about standing up for your right and every other Victorian's right. And together we're going to crowdfund and win this. We are in this, as Daniel Andrews says, we're in this together.
Yep, they're all in it together, I think.
And now we're coming into it together.
Yes.
There is no rule against carrying a sign while exercising, even if it is targeting Chairman Dan. And that's precisely why we need your help to crowdfund her defence at fightthefines.com.au.
I think everybody out there at home is going to want to support and get behind you, because you were clearly not breaking the law.
Clearly.
You were clearly trying to abide by their ludicrous directions.
Yep.
And still, just because you had a sign and you had "Ban Dan" on your mask, on the mask they say you have to wear, they gave you a $1,652 fine.
It's really good to know that have your support and Rebel Media's support, but also that there's lawyers out there willing to take on the fight for all of Victoria, not just for me, but for everybody, because where's the end? I don't see an end in sight, and it seems that they make the rules up as they go.
We're excited. Are you good? Ready for the fight?
I'm ready. I'm more
And do you
than
have a
ready.
message to people at home that are supporting, that want to support you? What's your message to them?
Get behind us all. If you can donate to Rebel News, that would be awesome, because it takes money to fight this fight. But we're fighting for everybody. So if the more people that can get on board, and let's topple this dictator in court, and let's beat him at his own game, basically.
Well said. Beat him at his own game.
Yep.
If you love this idea to fight the fines down under as much as I do, make sure to hit the like button below and share the video far and wide, because you never know who on your friends or family list can benefit from this campaign or able to help us help others. Again, fightthefines.com.au, because, as you know, we're in this together.